bald guy who can't sing or dance, I managed to make a living out of it. And that's what brings me here into this room today with all of you people. Yes, sir. You have a question. Thank you.
You've done such a wide variety of things. You get some actors and they play a role on The Days of Our Lives for 30 years. That's all they ever do. You've done a lot of different things, so you've had a chance to be flexible, have range. Do you get the chance to die a lot if you're doing a lot of one visits to different shows, and is it fun?
Yeah, you die a lot. I've died of all kinds of deaths. I've been frozen to death, I've been gutted, I've been shot, I've been strangled. It's totally fun to die. Especially if they give you like a death scene, you know. You ever see that movie with Sean Penn and Robert Duvall, and they play cops in Los Angeles?
Colors.
Colors, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you get a chance to watch Robert Duvall's death scene, that's, I think, the best death scene I've ever seen in my life. You can actually see the light go out in Robert Duvall's eyes. It's pretty extraordinary. And Meryl Streep plays the best corpse in the world in Ironweed. If you
what?
get a chance to see that. Ironweed with Jack Nicholson. She apparently put ice cubes in the coffin so that her skin would get chilled. And I think that's horseshit, but I'm glad she was able to find something that worked. But yeah, dying is great. It's fun. In a TV show I did recently, I was shot by some SWAT team people. And they put the squibs on you, you know? And they have to put a metal plate on your chest because when the squibs go off, they really impact you. And that's great because you don't have to even act, you know? You just, the impact just shocks you so much that it's pretty easy to just pretend that you've been hit, you know? Do you have any questions? Anything? Anybody have any questions? Those questions are great because that stimulates me to keep talking. Yes?
I have to ask, what, all those years you had to wear all that makeup, how long did it take to put on, and what was the worst part about wearing it?
It took about 3 hours to put on and about an hour and a half to take off. And I did that show for 7 years. I figured out, I had the same makeup guy for all 7 years. He was the only one who put it on. And I figured I spent about 2,800 hours in the makeup chair. Enough to earn a law degree. I got to know my makeup guy obviously really well because I would get there about 4 in the morning and spend a huge amount of time with him because not just the 3 hours to put it on, the hour and a half to take it off, but you had to kind of futz with it all day because it was so warm, which was the worst part. It was very hot. That it was the glue was constantly messing up. So you were in the chair another hour or so getting things fixed up. So you were there all the time. The makeup chair is, in any set, the makeup room is the center of activity, of gossip. Because everybody goes through there and everybody bitches to the makeup people. So I was privy to everything that went on Star Trek. I mean, these people would come in and stay half an hour and leave. I'd still have 3 hours to go, you know. I got to know this guy. His name was Scott Wheeler. He was a tremendous fella. He knew a lot about music and a lot about philosophy. So we had a lot to talk about over the years. It was great. But the makeup was very hot. And not everybody can do it. There are people that just can't wear it. I remember they hired Andrea Martin to do, you know Andrea Martin? They hired her to do Quark's mother on an episode of DS9, and she put the makeup on, and that was it. She couldn't do it because people get really claustrophobic in it. The new makeup, I did an episode of Cavemen, and they use silicone makeup on me. That's the brand new way to go now in the state of the art, especially with HD, because with the rubber it's really complicated to make the edges blend. But silicone is just like skin, and the director of photography does not have to worry about lighting it or anything. It looks like skin and it feels like skin, and you can express yourself while it's on. But it's a much more complicated makeup to put on. It doesn't stick like rubber. So that makeup was about 5 hours, and that was just a face. But it totally transforms you. You don't even feel like you have a mask on. You just feel like you've grown this thicker skin that looks like this. So it's a great thing to wear. Yes, sir?
What was the story with Genevieve Bujold? She was supposed to be the captain, and she walked off the set, like, on the first day or second day. Can you tell us about that?
You know, I only know what I heard. I don't really know the full story, but I do know that she shot for a couple of days, and I don't think she was happy with the schedule of doing an episodic show. because it's pretty demanding in terms of the hours and the time. And I think she was thinking, God, I got to do this 12, 15 hours a day for 7 years. That's my feeling, but I may be wrong. I really don't. I just know that it did, for whatever reason, between her and the producers, it didn't work out. They felt that this was not the right match. And in a couple of days, it was a mutual thing with no animosity. She had decided to vacate the seat, and they gave it to Kate. That's all I really know about it. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you keep in touch with the rest of the Voyager crew?
With some of them I do. I'm very close to Bob Picardo and Tim Russ and Robbie McNeil. The four of us are pretty close. In fact, Robbie's shooting an episode of Chuck right next to where I'm doing Bushy Daisies, so I see him for lunch when we're working on the Warner's lot. And I see Tim a lot, and I see Bob a lot. I occasionally talk to Bob Beltran and Garrett. All the Star Trek men, the 6 of us get together once a year and have a steak dinner and reminisce and stuff. So I'm always in touch with them. I see Kate a lot, especially when I was in New York. I saw her. She came to see my show, and we hang out. And I'm friends with her husband Tim. I haven't seen Roxanne in about 7 years. I've seen Jerry like once in 7 years. So, you know. Hi.
What were some of your favorite off the set moments?
There was really, every day there were things, it's like, you're just fussing around all day, so you're always joking around. It was so long ago, I don't remember, but I just know that we laughed an awful lot. I used to laugh at Bob Beltran an awful lot, because he was a very funny mimic, and he could do De Niro, and he would do weird guys like Bob Dole. He just did the strangest impressions, and they were really perfect. And he would do them, and then I'd try to do them in the Neelix makeup. Watching Neelix imitate De Niro. It really looked strange. And we had a lot of fun doing that, and Tim was great. Tim has a problem with gas. We had to deal with that all the time on the set. We used to just joke around. We actually had too much fun. I think that the crew was a little, by the end, were kind of angry at us because we just didn't take it as seriously as we should have, But Beltran was very bad with lines. He either didn't or couldn't memorize lines, and he would put them on the bottom of his coffee cup. He always, if you remember, he always had a cup of coffee. He'd go, Captain, and the lines would be written on the bottom of the coffee. He also, when he sat in that first officer's chair, he had that console. He was always going like that, and the lines were always written there. And even if he had a line like "Yes, Captain," he'd blow it. Yes. And there was a guy on the set who was the script supervisor, Cosmos. We called him Kazi. And if you forgot your line, you'd yell out, "Cos, what's my line?" And in the back, Cos would yell, "There's a delirium crystal in your head." So Beltran was constantly yelling, "Cos, damn, what's my line?" In fact, one day I called him up at home. I got his answering machine. And he said, "Hi, this is Bob." Cos, what's my name? I got his living with him. To cure him on his daily rounds. Believe that? Very strange. Yes, sir.
The one episode in all of Voyager that spoke most to me personally was Mortal Coil, because your character of Neelix went through in 44 minutes what I went through personally over about 20 years. I'd like to know whether you as an actor had any type of personal connection to that episode.
Yeah, if you could just tell me what was it you went through for 20 years?
Neelix was basically killed in the teaser and was resuscitated, and he was having basically a crisis because he did not reach the spiritual destination where he expected to, and he was pretty much rattled that his entire religious faith had been shaken by that.